morning, welcome back to the workshop. Ali's joining me again for another day in their life. I'll follow along as I'm working on a little project. We've got a curved head mock sash window in the workshop that I've spent a couple of days on already, and I've got to this point here. So up to this point we have made the curved arch. We've used sectional pieces of timber to laminate up a tall sort of section, the full width of the window. We've got another little piece to go on the top here that has the moulding on the outside of the sash. We've got the sills machined, and then we're picking this project up at the point of looking to glue the curved arch and the basic frame structure together. So the plan for today is to try and get these frames assembled. I say frames because there's actually two of these that are identical to each other, so it adds another little element of repeatability. This is what we're working on at the minute. I'm just scratching my head a little bit as to how to joint these two together, and I think I'm going to make a little jig to hold the curved arch and put a couple of sort of loose tenon cuts through on the spindle moulder that strike down into the jamb, and we'll connect the two together with some loose tenons. Well, I've had a little second thought about how to do this joint, and I think I could get away with referencing the domino off that flat of the cut joint there, and just angling the fence so it hits the curve of the rail. I think that's going to be good enough. Let's do a little test piece. Check the setting on the domino. It's going to flush up around that curve. Wow, beautiful. Third time lucky. So that's quite well. I'm just going to use the domino to hold that while the glue goes off. So I'm going to set it on my drawing I've got on the bench, get that glue going off. It'll glue it in the position I want it. Then take it to the spindle, put some loose tenons down the side. I'm just going to cut some 10mm pieces of loose tenon material down through both pieces, all the way through these joints, and that will strengthen the interaction between them two. So everything I'm working from to get my dimensions comes from the drawing on the board here. So I've set out with some trammel heads all the curves of where all my pieces are going to land, made up this arch, and then I've put a board on to keep nice square ends throughout the window. So my arch is finishing on the edge of that board, and line all of that curve up to there, and use that as like almost a clamping point, so that this curved bit of the window is going to match the bit at the sill at the bottom, and then everything should assemble around on that drawing. This window is a little bit experimental as well. It's like the mock sash I posted a few weeks ago as well, where we've got a top opening fan light that looks identical to a sash window, but it's slightly different to that one again, because this one's got a curved head and the top of this window can't fully open. So it's actually only the bottom bit that's going to open in a fan light fashion. So we've got a really unique detail at the centre rail, as well as all this curved head stuff going on. So lots of head scratching with this one. Right, last little bit before we glue it together is just to groove these hinges in. These are what are going to open the bottom casement. And we just put the groove all the way up this jamb before we assemble it, so that those hinges can locate in there. Good, she's alright. These are pretty good for removing dominoes when they're tight, because they don't mark on the side. You can get a pretty strong grip on a domino, but they're not putting sort of jaw marks and ruining the actual domino when you remove them. It's perfect really, because the rounded edges of the drill bit like force the glue around to the outsides of the mortise. And because it's metal, it's dead easy to clean off. So it's the perfect tool for that job. That lines up. Absolutely perfect. Just noticed it wasn't square by the centre line of that arch not lining up with the centre line on the drawing. So I've just pulled the bottom ram a bit squarer. And all these points line up now, so this joint is right straight through this board. And sitting nicely down straight on the sides. We'll let that go off for 5 minutes. Get the other one glued up. Looking good. I'm just gluing some little fillet strips in here to almost make up a strength across the joint like plywood. I just used a 10mm groover on the spindle, ran these grooves through across the joint to strengthen it up, and then glue some strips in. And just sort of laminating the joint to create so nothing's in line. You've got a staggered joint across that shoulder. So, just a really quick way of creating a tenon. Look at that. Did you get that? That'll do us for today. So I've got the frames where I wanted to get them to today. They're pretty much ready to glue this face piece on. I'm just going to leave that off for the time being, so I've got access to the rebate while I'm working on the sash that's going to go in there. It's going to be easier to sort of set that out without that in place, so I can cheat a little bit on that one. Thanks for following on today. This is a little glimpse into this full project. I'm hoping to do a full video on the entire project, so look out for that on the channel. this has been a little bit of a follow along, and we're hoping to another one next week. So check in then to see how far we've got along with these windows.